Good news, everyone. The gaming industry is on fire. In the bad way, though. Warner Brothers Discovery admits to taking $200 million loss on Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. We all know why, don't we? But it gets worse from there because rather than course correct into something that works, Xbox has decided to close down the dev studio behind Hi-Fi Rush. This is a game that's a bit like Jet Set Radio, a bit of a punkish atmosphere, but it's rhythm driven. So, it gets your heart pumping. It's a very like passion driven kind of game. You feel your blood pressure go up as you're playing it. You definitely get into the music, that's for sure. But they want to cancel those because Xbox boss Matt Booty, that's right, Matt Booty, says they need to focus on games that are smaller and give them prestige and awards. Ooh, please, this prestige and awards. And the problem with this is that games like Hi-Fi Rush are smaller, and they were bringing prestige to the brand. But for whatever reason, Matt decided to spread them around the Xbox gaming development, or rather Microsoft Gaming Studios offices these days. It's not much about the Xbox anymore. Maybe that's a good thing, maybe that's a bad thing, I'm not sure. I'm not a console guy, so I can't say, but for people out there that enjoyed Hi-Fi Rush, it's over. It's not going to happen. You might be able to crowdfund it if somebody manages to wrestle the license away from Xbox, but at this point, that's going to be a while. You might be wondering, though, what are they going to do with like all of these losses? How are they going to make this money back? Well, Electronic Arts, our good friends at EA, have a solution. They're going to put ads inside of games. That's right. Now, you already experienced this with your mobile games. You're just clicking through, enjoying your little Candy Crush games, or maybe you're a Subway Surfer expert, huh? But either way, an ad will pop up and it'll be there, and you'll either have to wait for the little X to pop up or have to sit through it in order for the game to continue, one or the other. That's sort of what EA is kind of pushing. However, this is what they had to say on it, right? When CEO Andrew Wilson was pressed by Goldman Sachs analyst Eric Sheridan for his thoughts on the market opportunity for more dynamic ad insertion across more traditional AAA games, across different formats, and how Andrew Wilson, the CEO of EA, thinks that might be a revenue opportunity over the medium and long term. Now, answering that, Andrew said this. He says, "We'll be very thoughtful as we move into that. But we have teams internally in the company right now looking at how we do very thoughtful implementations inside of our game experiences." EA being thoughtful with how they treat players, I'm going to press X to doubt on that one. Press X to doubt. I don't see that happening. But he goes on and he says, more importantly, as we start to build community and harness the power of community beyond the bounds of our games, how do we as EA think about advertising as a growth driver in those types of experiences? Now, they've already tried this, okay? So rather than having this game thing pop up right in your face and making you wait for it to pass or asking you, rather demanding that you go through the ad, right? You've got to deal rather with these inserted advertisements. This is what it is. It says, most recently, in-game advertisements were included in 2023's UFC 5. However, rather than intrusively throwing them at players throughout the course of the game, EA instead made their viewing completely optional, with players who choose to do so being offered in-game currency in exchange for their time. Now, I'm not exactly sure if this is a good idea. Advertising is like politics. It ages with the headlines. It doesn't keep very well. You got a better chance of keeping cheese than you do advertisements in games. So I'm not quite sure what the end result of this will be. It most likely will function in a live format. Some games you can go back right now and see advertisements for President Obama's 2008 presidential run. And that seems a bit, I don't know, sour these days, I guess, a little dystopian as we look back on those times, certainly. So I'm not sure if that's the vibe you want to give off in your game when you go selling ad space that's meant to be positive, and then maybe 10 years later, the public's opinion of that has shifted, so it's a bit darker now and a bit, I don't know, maybe unpleasant to think back on those times. So this will probably be plugged into a live format game like the spectacular victory of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, right? Those live format games. However, that may not be the case. They may just insert an ad that is for 2023, and every time you go back, you see an ad for a 2023 Ford Ranger, even if it's 2053. I don't know if that's going to help you. I don't know if that ad link is going to lead you anywhere, but apparently EA wants to give you currency for sitting through that, and I think that's okay. I think that's a passable addition, I guess. It's not comfortable, certainly, and it's not preferable. It takes you out of your experience 100%. Nobody's going to sit there playing their UFC 5 game, and then all of a sudden a Kit Kat ad pops up. And even if you do get 500 gold credits, dollary dues, whatever you get out of the game, even if you do get 500 out of that, your gaming experience is now like up in the air and you got to root yourself back in. And as soon, of course, once you're rooted back in, the ads come back. And this is, I'm not sure it's smart to do this. In the past, you'll pass a poster or a billboard or a mural that's advertising something that exists outside of the game in our reality, for instance. But I'm not really sure that that's even smart because, as I said earlier, the public's opinion will change on these things. In any case, advertising inside of video games has never really been smart. It always looks bad. It always takes you out of your experience, no matter what shape it takes. However, if it's going to give you some type of currency in return, it's one of those necessary evils, I guess, to keep the gaming corporations going. They're not getting enough money out of you for a $60 game, right? A $90 game, $120 deluxe edition that's not functional on the first day it's released. Yeah. Or a 10 gig update it's got to download before you can even get past the start menu. Yeah, it's one of those situations. So I'm not sure the ad space is going to make that any better for you guys out there in gaming land, your console land, but I don't know. EA makes PC games as well, so this means it'll play the PC Master Race in our end of the pool as well. Though maybe an ad blocker will pop up to make sure that this doesn't happen. I'm not sure how this will evolve. We've seen the internet and technology like react to corporations left and right with the development of new technologies to maybe work our way around what corporations are asking us to do. So rather demanding us to do. But whatever your thoughts are about this, let me know down in the comments below because going forward, you're going to see more ads in games. Now that the genie's out of the bottle, they're definitely going to be working it in there. I'm fully convinced you're going to see the Bud Knight show up in Elder Scrolls. That's going to be a skin you can download. You could be the Bud Knight. Remember that? The Bud Light Knight there that they put out a few years ago? Before Dylan Mulvaney showed up and the mask was ripped off. But I digress. I'll see you in the next video, and until then, good luck out there.